Hey, how's it going? I have some cards, just a few, not to overwhelm everyone. So the first one is a Declarations of Mary Magdalene card, and it reads, "For thou shalt not judge another, for thee are only condemning thyself." Which I thought was an interesting message to come out right now. Considering all of the revelations we're getting from the Epstein files, although, I mean, I don't know how we didn't see a lot of this coming, but, you know, we see what we choose to see, right? And this is not a pretty subject to examine, I know. But we finally got what we wanted. When I say we, I don't mean me. I mean, I wasn't asking for the files to come out, but people were. And so that's now going on at the same time that we have still problems with ICE versus the public issues where they're like too reactive and immediately violent to the protesters. And I'm not going to call them rioters, because the only thing they can really characterize as a riot with the demonstrations last year and this year, the No Kings and the anti-ICE things, the only thing that even remotely resembles a riot is when ICE starts throwing tear gas at people in there, or trying to shoot people or whatever, or hit them, and they're running for their lives. And that's not a riot. That's, run for your life. So, it's a little different, I think. And so, let's be real. Anyway, it's a very, both situations are really striking, and I think we're getting hit in the hearts besides getting hit in the angers, and that might be causing some dissonance for a lot of us, because it's potent. It's a potent blend, and there's potent atmospherics happening, and everyone, I think, is wound up just a little or a lot tighter than they would normally be. So, with that in mind, it is hard for us to look at such depravity, even the suggestion of it, because not everything is out yet, but I would say expect the worst, and some really awful things have come out to where people are like, wait, is this true? Is this real? Why do you think they were hiding it so hard? I'm going to go with, it's probably going to be real. As horrible as it sounds to us, if it weren't that big of a deal, they wouldn't be trying to hide it that hard. So, and I'm not saying, it's good or anything. I mean, it has a purpose, and the acts need to be performed for them to happen. So some of us sign up to be that guy or that girl or literal girl, and it's not relegated only to females. Just want to be clear about that. So, I just want to say that there was a saying I've heard all of my life that had to do with politicians, and the thing that could sink their career, and it was a saying. It still is a saying, although I think right now it's more true than it ever was. We never understood. Well, the saying was, I don't know if I'm going to get it perfectly correct, but it's the thing that could sink a politician's career is being found in bed with a dead hooker or a teenage boy, I think that was it. Or, maybe both parties in the bed with a politician were lifeless. I don't know. Any way you look at it, it implies that, obviously, with the young person, it's taboo. You don't do it. It's illegal. It's just wrong. The other party, you can't even presume that they're, like, of age, so... But maybe they are, and in that case, they didn't deserve what they got just because of their probably not chosen profession. So, that, now, because when I would hear that when I was young, that saying, I'd be like, why would you say that? What an awful thing to suggest that could happen to this person, not realizing that, oh, this is a really awful thing that could happen to this person. So, somebody has to play those roles. Somebody has to enact those deeds for the whole, I don't even know what to call it, role. Oh, the whole Megillah, for the whole, I don't know if everybody's familiar with that word, but like, for the whole wheel to turn properly, each spoke has to be in its proper position. Otherwise, the wheel isn't going to work well for long, and it's not going to work. So, everyone has a role. Not everybody is a good guy. It's like defense lawyers, poor things. Somebody has to defend the awful people. Like, all of these people that I was talking about in these other two situations that are performing those parts of the act, of the deeds, they're probably going to need lawyers at some point. Or absolutely, they already are in need of them in a number of cases. So I think that's a given. But the thing is like, nobody is better than anybody else in this situation, and I will refer always back to the pre-birth blueprint. Like, this is how the roles are filled. This is where, like, the CVs are turned in, for examination by whoever is in charge of, your life contract. Whoever that, what field of law would that attorney be in? Well, you probably have one. Or a sense of one. Oh, he broke back in. Okay. So anyway, I just want to say, as per this card, maybe don't judge so hard. Like, I know it is hard enough before all of this, when you could still fool yourself with things that weren't so bad, and they were hard to forgive. So I understand this is, almost an impossible ask. However, I think we all gain from like, not, if not able to, like, be forgiving, maybe not so judgmental, because in all of these cases, like, some people are going down, like, they're losing their job, they're losing their belongings, their family, their reputation, and it's like a major deal to these people, because appearances above all. How else do you hide the horrors, unless you have, like, a semblance of, like, appearing to be safe for work and real and sincere and all kinds of things that are turning out to not be the case. So, yeah, somebody has to do that. That's gotta be hard. You get a lot of, like, hard eyes turned upon you, hard opinions, a lot of emotion. I just saw, oh, well, what am I worried about? Like, say it or not, just do it. So I just saw something that featured the president at a football game, and he was trying to, like, I think, like, induct troops into the service. Like, people that get their citizenship have to attend some similar thing, some kind of ceremony. So, he was booed so bad that, like, you couldn't make out what he was saying, and he was, like, trying to yell even, and he was he was at a football game, so they had amplification down, I think, and he couldn't be heard very well. Like, I could hear him, but I could not make out what he was saying. I could hear, ooh, ooh, a lot of that in the background, like a really lot, and so I'm sure that was no fun for him. It would be no fun for anyone, but I think he takes it less well than most. So, you gotta give him that, you know, like, dang, I don't want to be in those shoes to you. But, someone has to do it, and then what we're kind of removed from, even if we are keeping the pre-birth contract deal in mind, is it's just hard to, like, get over that whole hump, you know? Like, we're pretty deeply embedded in these lives that we're living, so it's like, I think, a sticky process to extricate those thoughts from and realize that this ain't really us. Like, this is not really your body. Like, this is literally, like, we dreamed this up. All of this. All of your this. So, okay. Like, maybe turn it down a notch with the judging is all I'm saying, or is what I believe the card that Mary was saying on her card there. You understand. So, I have two cards from the Starseed Oracle deck, and the first one is, I cleaned this, what am I touching? Okay, well, I think it's my imagination. It's clean. My hand is confused. Okay, so the card is the Blue Flame. Well, I don't know if you've ever had a natural gas stove, but the jets that come out under, like, where the burner is, this is what they look like, that blue color. But if you look, I see, like, a figure walking. I'm gonna say it's female, kind of. It's given female. It sort of looks like it has on, like, a gown or something like that. I don't know, I'm just getting that. But then I'm noticing also above its head, it has, like, a floating orb. And this reminded me of Isis. You know, like, she has that crescent crown that's like, looks like a smile. And then above it is an orb. And it's just like hanging there in the air above her crown. Just, walks around with her. It's her balloon. So, let us consult the book. Oh, also, sorry, let me not jump ahead. No, there's almost always some sort of portal on these, like some doorway. So, I guess that's to signify that you're being initiated with a piece of information, and then you receive it, and then you have to, like, just to be quick and do what you gotta do before you can actually step through into your next phase. So, Just a thought. Let me see here what the book has to say. So the subtitle on the card, subtitles are Spontaneous Awakening, Activation, Integration Time. So apt. Okay, I'll just read here. This is a card of awakening and energetic upgrades. Perhaps you're going through a period of spontaneous awakening, receiving visions and having experiences that are out of the ordinary. There's a question mark at the end. In the West, little is known about the process of spontaneous awakening, and it can feel very scary when we're going through it alone. Elsewhere, they can be seen as auspicious experiences, with those going through them being treated with tender care. The blue beings are thought to be activating beings with great potential for healing and upgrading our cellular structures. They appear in moments of extreme awakening, activating a physical Kundalini awakening and a deep cellular DNA awakening. Many people glamorize the awakening process. However, in reality, it's much messier and more difficult than most of us believe. We must first let go of what we think we know for sure and how we make sense of the world. This isn't easy. The awakening process, even when it's spontaneous, takes a considerable amount of time to integrate, and awakening without integration can leave us feeling very ungrounded. Windsock! That's what I feel like it is. That's how I call the feeling. If you're in the midst of an awakening, the process never ends. Treat this time as deeply sacred and give yourself ample space to ground and integrate the extreme changes you're going through. So, it just occurs to me that, like, the things going on maybe are something that, like the book was saying, is triggering spontaneous awakenings. Sorry, I guess I have like a lot of energy right now or something. I'm nothing's funny. Not that it's all like serious either, but I'm just saying. Okay, so anyway, I have been feeling for a while that for like times and trends to change in like the society in the United States, everyone has to understand what everybody else is feeling and going through, or else it's just going to stay like everybody's in their camp and they think all of these things about people in the other camps, and then they're probably wrong because they won't associate with the people in the other camps or anything that they care about, and they listen to stuff that people tell them over just going and seeing for yourself. So, I don't know if myopic is the right word. I'm just going to guess and throw it out. Well, actually, I don't do that. Let me just go look. I hate just guessing. Hold on. I'm glad I looked, because it doesn't mean what I was wanting it to mean or thinking it was meaning. It actually means lacking imagination, foresight, or intellectual insight. The government, here's an example of it in a sentence. The government still has a myopic attitude to public spending. Well, I mean, I'm sure it applies somewhere, but I was thinking more along the lines of you can't see past the forest for the trees. Like, you can't, like, all you care about is the tree right in front of you, and that's all you can see. Or if you're a hammer, and everything's a nail, regardless of good, bad, or ugly. You know, so that was the type of blindness that I was talking about. Like blinders. You have blinders on. I'm not meaning to cast any aspersions. At some points, we have all worn the blinders because we've all had a bunch of crap piped into our brains our whole lives. Like, just about everything you can look at has been touched by some form of, like, government influence. Not necessarily a good thing. I really got to get a proper stand for this thing. Or actually, I have a camera. This is a phone. I just need a laptop to put the contents of the camera into. And I have one, but it doesn't work right now, so it's kind of like, at least I can still do it with a phone. Anyway, so what I was trying to say is we just get, like, super sucked into our own stuff, and I don't know, like, once it's beyond where you can see something resolve into some kind of sense, it just doesn't matter. Like, I can't make sense of that, so who cares? Or I can't really see that clearly, so it doesn't matter. Or whatever thing that's putting you, like, a lot of distance between you and something that probably would be good for you to pay attention to, at least to see it coming, kind of thing. So, not to say stuff is coming after people, but things happen, and a lot of times it's good to have, like, a heads up for, you know, storms, traffic, stuff like that. So, where was I? I might have already read this, but it's the last paragraph. If you're in the midst of an awakening, the process never ends. I did read it. Treat this time as deeply sacred and give yourself ample space to ground and integrate the extreme changes you're going through. Starseed activation. Gotta whisper like Homer Simpson again. Place the card on the portal of your heart and whisper the following. I allow myself to surrender to the awakening process that's right for me. I take things slowly and integrate the experience each and every day. That is good advice, because I was just thinking before I started reading that activation that it's really hard to describe awakening to someone else, because it looks different for everybody. It is not, it's not uniform. Whoa. So crazy. Okay, so I have this other card, and it is the Star Bathing card. Oh, wow. I love it when I Owen Wilson. Oh, wow. So there is a person, I don't know what they're lying on. It's kind of also stars, but there's a delineation. I'm going to show you. There's a delineation where you can see this figure is definitely lying on something. So no guesses, this is definitely a female. I can tell by the anatomy. The obvious female anatomy. And so, she's starbathing. I'm going to let you have your own look, and you can make your own observations, but there is dark hair. There's the woman. She's laid out. She's laid out apparently on something that's lighter blue than this, I guess, sky. Oddly, also has stars. Very star. Oh, there's a star across. And I'm not sure what's happening here with. Well, you know, she's bathing. Maybe it's like a star shower. It's gotta be like a metaphor, because think scale and person, and also all of it. Where is the thing I can't even describe that she's laying on located? Don't overthink it. Okay, so the subtitles on this card are light body, crystal grid, transmission, activation. The stars are constantly showering emanations onto the crystalline grid of the Earth. When things are in balance, the planet also sends information back up to the stars. Oh, maybe, many starseeds have come to Earth at this time to help shift the planet vibrationally, to activate the ancient codes of wisdom that humanity has forgotten. And all of that information is stored in the crystalline grid. Crystalline, why can't you be true? If you pull the card, if you pull this card, you may be being called to begin working with the stars and the crystalline grid of the Earth. Some people believe that the crystalline grid of the Earth anchors divine cosmic frequencies onto the planet. You may be guided to journey to particular places on Earth to unlock these cosmic codes with your presence. You may also be interested in a practice called starbathing. Download a starbathing meditation at I didn't know there was going to be an ad right in the middle of this. At starseedoracle.me. This card commonly arises because you're here to connect with the crystalline grid of the Earth, either in your hometown or by traveling to other places without quite knowing why. It also can mean that your light body, that the energy body in its highest form, is being activated. If this resonates, take things extra slow in order to integrate this change of vibration. You know, sometimes I wonder, what the heck are they talking about when they're telling people to take it slow? Because you have your life going on, and to my mind, when they say take it slow, it sounds like you gotta kind of like drop everything for a little while and like concentrate on this only, and like all of the other stuff as little as possible. It is intense, and it is a lot of strange sensations, and you know, across the board, like feeling, hearing, all of the senses, you may get something, or a lot of them, and it may be like so unusual it scares the heck out of you, or it may just be like, this and more. You know, like you kind of already felt that way, but you're like, oh, there's more going on here now. Okay. Or other else, you know, other else. Could be other things. So, I'm glad that they talked about it a little bit, but I mean, I just felt like I would have loved like a description. It's kind of like, women are gonna understand this, older women, but when you first start having menopause and the symptoms, and you want like information about like what's gonna happen next, what can I expect, you know, is this gonna happen? Nobody knows anything. Male, female doctors, it's a mystery to everyone. Yay. So I feel like it's kind of like that. You just gotta find your own way. But that's, you know, we do that already all the time, and we may not notice. It may not seem as dramatic because it's like, oh yeah, this and more. Okay, like you feel like you were already doing it. So some types of integration, I guess, are easier, but it's not even. It's like they said, it doesn't just stop. It just goes on and on and on in waves. Like you feel like you're getting the hang of it, and then, whoa, you start feeling all crazy, or something happens, and every move you make, every decision matters. And it feels like you're in, like, Mission Impossible or something, but, you know, it is just your life still, but somehow things feel like that drastic. Like, you can have changes that feel like that. So, oh, sorry. Let me stop opining. I need more light. Just give me a moment. Okay, let's see here. I'm trying to find where I left off. Oh, okay. This card commonly arises because you're here to connect with the crystalline grid of the earth, either in your hometown or by traveling to other places without quite knowing why. It can also mean that your light body, the energy body in its highest form, is being activated. I already read this. If this resonates, take things extra slow in order to integrate this change of vibration. The star seed activation. More Homer whispering. Okay. I open myself up to receiving the wisdom of the crystalline grid beneath me. Plant your feet. That was me. Plant your feet. May the stars and the earth inform and heal me. As they do, may heal the earth too. Sorry about the stage whisper, but it says to whisper it. So, I'm just reviewing. Did I have more that I wanted to say? No, I think I covered it all. I do think that it's fun and interesting. I don't think that it's appreciated if I talk about this in this kind of terminology where it's like exciting or fun. But why not, like, enjoy it? Like, they're constantly telling you to enjoy this experience, which sometimes is really awful, and it's hard to get to a place for me where I'm like, this is fun, because everything in me has been taught to believe that, like, this horrible thing is not good, and it shouldn't happen to people, and, you know, it's hard to square with, yeah, but you signed up for this, and, like the book said, like, you know, you're here at this time for that reason, to both have that experience and to take part in this shift in consciousness. And one thing with the awakening, you learn how big a deal consciousness is, and how it's not just asleep versus awake, passed out drunk or not. There's more layers. Thank you and good night.